Dani Williamson, DaniWilliamson.com, and it is Sunday night. So that means it's Sunday night service. Dani Williamson, I am so excited to be here tonight to be talking about anxiety. It's me. I am talking about anxiety, increasing anxiety during seasons of uncertainty, and what I'm seeing in the office. Actually, this is a redo of something that Dr. Motley and I did in 2019 on anxiety. So, as you get logged on tonight, I want you to hit your heart buttons, hit your like buttons, let me know you're here, okay? So make some comments, tell me where you're from, ask any questions that you want. While you guys are getting logged on, I am going to share with you some things that have happened just the first 6 months of 2019. All right. Now, 2020. What am I saying? Hey, Teresa, it's good to see you. I want you all to, well, it says I just went off the air. I want you all to stay until the very end of this video because I'm going to be giving away a free bottle of Earth's Glory CBD. Okay? And not today, but if you sign up for the newsletter. Good Lord, I don't know why my video just left. If you can see me, hit your heart buttons. Teresa, if you can see me, hit your heart button because I can't see anything. All right, guys, let me tell you what's happened. So my screen has completely, totally, 100% gone blank. So just let me know. Okay, perfect. I'll just talk to a blank screen. Not a problem. Well, daggone it. I don't know what's going on there. All right, listen. 2020. We started off with the Australia fires, right? They started off our year and they were extinguished on February the 10th, 2020, having burnt approximately 471,000 acres over 79 days. The Persian Gulf crisis also started in January. Puerto Rico was hit by a 5.9 earthquake. Delta Airlines Flight 91 en route to Shanghai dumped fuel over a playground in California, injuring 60 people, sending them to the emergency room for skin burns. The impeachment trial of President Trump began in January. January the 21st, the first case of COVID-19 in the United States was confirmed by the CDC. January the 26th, Kobe Bryant died along with 8 others in a helicopter crash in California. January the 31st, the first travel ban was put into place. February, we had more than 300 Americans evacuated from the quarantined Diamond Princess cruise ship. Remember that? The Boy Scouts of America also filed for bankruptcy in February. Mr. Arbery was killed in Georgia. Remember, he was a black man who was running, and he was unarmed, and he was killed in Georgia, and no arrest was made until May. Harvey Weinstein was also found guilty that month. COVID-19 pandemic continued to grow, and on March the 4th, we had 130 cases in the United States. March the 9th, the Dow Jones plunged over 2,000 points. Oil prices also plunged. More travel bans were put into place, and on March the 13th, Breonna Taylor, age 26, an emergency medical technician, was shot 8 times by the Louisville police during a no-knock warrant as part of a narcotics raid or investigation. A 5.9 earthquake hit near Salt Lake City as well. March the 20th, New York basically closes its doors as they have over 7,000 cases of COVID-19 in the state. The National Guard was being called up in California, Washington, and New York as well. In April, we ended up with more than 10,000 deaths in the United States. April the 11th, it was said we had more than any case we had more cases than any country in the world. Schools are let out. Moms started teaching at home while working full-time as well. April 16th, 22 million filed for unemployment. April 30th, we had armed protesters in Michigan at the state capitol. May the 8th, unemployment levels reached 14.7%. More than 33 million claims were filed in March. May the 25th, George Floyd's murder on, or I'm sorry, more than 33 million claims were filed since March. May 25th, George Floyd is murdered on camera by the Minnesota police officer Derek Chauvin. Protests all over the country turn into riots and looting. May the 27th, the death toll of COVID-19 surpasses 100,000 in the United States. There was a state of emergency declared on the Twin City with hundreds of National Guard soldiers deployed. Curfews in major cities were also put in place. Antifa is declared a terrorist organization. On June the 10th, COVID-19 cases passed 2 million in the United States. Minnesota City Council then votes unanimously to disband the police department. On June the 13th, Erica Shields of the Atlanta Police resigns the day after a fatal shooting of Rashard Brooks. Protesters then burned down the Wendy's, and today is June the 14th. Many people are still at home with their families. All of their families, every family member's at home, all of them. They're working from home. They're teaching from home. They're cooking from home. They're trying to learn a new normal. We have no idea what school is going to look like in only a few weeks, 2 months. 2 months, right? No idea. Will the moms still have to work full time from home or from their office and homeschool their kids as well? Will the dad still be working full time? What's going to happen in August when school starts? What's going to happen? We don't know. And we are living in uncertain times, and uncertainty is scary. Uncertainty breeds anxiety. Fear breeds anxiety. Fear breeds illness. And I can tell you right now, I am seeing more and more and more patients in the office who are struggling with anxiety. They're struggling with all kinds of anxiety, all kinds of people who've never had anxiety in their life, people who've had anxiety in the past, but they haven't had it in years, people who already have anxiety and now it's ramping up. I'm seeing it. I see you, I hear you, and I am here to tell you right now, you are not broken. You're not broken at all. You weren't born broken. You weren't born with anxiety. And what we turn on, we can definitely dial down and turn off. So what are the symptoms of anxiety? I want to talk about first. You know, everybody has different symptoms. Heart palpitations, heart's racing, right? Fear, panic attacks, sweating, nausea, jittery, stomach pain, feeling of just a general feeling of uneasiness, right? Irritability, restlessness, nausea. I think I've already said that. Insomnia. Those are just a few of the symptoms of anxiety, right? Again, we weren't born with anxiety. We turn it on. And I am living proof what you turn on, you can turn off. It's not that simple, but it is as simple and as difficult as that right there. A few statistics on anxiety. Anxiety is the #1 most prevalent mental illness. It's a mental illness in the United States, according to the Anxiety Disorders Association. This was in 2010. Anxiety affects 40 million adults age 18 and older. Approximately 18% of the population are affected by anxiety. General anxiety disorder tripled from the early 90s to the early 2000s, and panic disorder doubled. Other countries with similar lifestyle and eating habits have also seen increasing anxiety disorders. Women are 2 times more likely to suffer from general anxiety disorder, panic attacks, panic disorder, specific phobias, as well as PTSD. Anxiety disorders are highly treatable, yet only 36.9% of those suffering actually receive treatment. Now listen to this, people with anxiety disorder are 3 to 5 times more likely to go to the doctor, not for that, just to go to the doctor in general, and 6 times more likely to be hospitalized for psychiatric disorders. than those who do not suffer from anxiety disorders. According to the World Health Organization, 1 in 13 globally, worldwide, suffer from anxiety. The WHO reports that anxiety disorders are the most common mental disorders worldwide, with specific phobias, major depressive disorder, and social phobia being the most common anxiety disorders. Generalized anxiety disorder. It affects 6.8 million adults, or 3.1% of the United States population. Yet only 43.2% of the people actually receive treatment. Women are twice as likely to be affected than men. And general anxiety disorder often goes side by side with depression. I see that in the office quite a bit. Panic disorder, panic attacks, right? I tell you what, I don't have anxiety, but I've had 2 panic attacks my entire life. Both of them were when I was going through a divorce 19 years ago, and both of them were at night. So I don't know, maybe that's when you calm down, maybe that, and I was in bed, and there was no doubt that I was not going to make it through the night. I mean, that's how scared I was. I just knew if I closed my eyes that I would die. I mean, I don't know how people live with panic attacks on a regular basis. Panic disorder affects 6 million adults, or 2.7% of the U.S. population. Women are twice as likely as men to be affected by panic disorder. Social anxiety disorder. Now, I see a lot of this in my office. Social anxiety disorder affects 15 million adults, or 6.8% of the United States population. Oh, my mama's watching right now. Oh my goodness, I wish I could see you. You guys, my mom is watching from her assisted living with my sweet Emily Brooke, who is one of her aides. And so, oh my Lord, pop some hearts up, you guys. Hit your heart buttons, hit your like buttons, show my mom some love. She's watching her very first Sunday night service tonight. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Hey Mom, I love you. It was good to see you this weekend. I'll be back on Friday. Seasonal affective disorder. I'm sorry, I got all excited. Social anxiety disorder is equally common among men and women, and it typically begins around the age of 13. According to a 2007 survey through the American, the ADAA survey, 36% of the people with social anxiety disorder report experiencing symptoms for 10 or more years before receiving help. That sounds very similar to Hashimoto's, being diagnosed with Hashimoto's thyroiditis. Specific phobias, like agoraphobia, fear of going outside. Specific phobias. Women are twice as likely to be affected than men. Affects 19 million adults, or 8.7% of the United States population. Phobias symptoms typically begin in childhood. The average age of onset of a phobia is age 7. Obsessive compulsive disorder and post-traumatic stress disorder are closely related to anxiety disorders. Some may experience those at the same time, along with depression. And I see in the office PTSD with depression, OCD with depression. OCD affects 2.2 million adults, or 1% of the population. And it's equally as common between men and women. And the interesting thing about OCD, the average onset's like 19. 25% of the cases occur before age 14. 1/3 of affected adults have first experienced their symptoms in childhood. And that's what most of my patients tell me, is that their OCD symptoms, right, started in childhood. Post-traumatic stress disorder. And I suspect we're going to be seeing more and more of this during all the things that I just mentioned at the very beginning of this. The due to all the things that I just mentioned, right, that have gone on, especially the first 6 months of this year. PTSD affects 7.7 million adults, or 3.5% of the United States population. Women more than men. Rape is the most likely trigger of PTSD. 65% of men and 45.9% of women who are raped will develop post-traumatic stress disorder. Childhood sexual abuse is a strong, strong predictor of the lifetime likelihood of developing PTSD. This was from the National Institute of Mental Health, actually. And if you all remember, we did an adverse childhood experiences Sunday night service, and we talked about adverse childhood experiences being a predictor for PTSD, a predictor for suicide, a predictor for anxiety and depression. So I'm not surprised at all that childhood rape or childhood sexual trauma is for sure a huge precursor to post-traumatic stress disorder. So what are some of the causes of anxiety, right? Well, it's multifaceted, right? Multifaceted. I mean, it could range from childhood sexual abuse to broken homes to, everything from losing your job to a breakup, all kinds of things. Julia Ross, who wrote, and I went to the office today to pick up all the supplements to talk to you and show you some things that could cause, lack of these minerals could cause anxiety. And I totally forgot my 2 favorite books on anxiety. Julia Ross, who wrote The Mood Cure, write it down if you want an amazing book on anxiety. She's the leader with anxiety, she and Trudy Scott, but she wrote the original book, The Mood Cure. She says, and this is a quote, "Much of our increasing emotional distress stems from easily correctable malfunctions in our brain and our body, chemistry. Malfunctions that are primarily the result of critical, unmet nutritional needs." I'll say that one more time. Critical, unmet nutritional needs. We are so nutritionally devoid of the minerals and the great things that we need to keep our body active and to decrease our psych symptoms. Remember, the gut and the brain are 100% connected. 100% connected. 80 to 90% of all of our serotonin in the entire human body is located in the small intestine. It's not in the brain. So when the gut's inflamed, so are the symptoms of anxiety, depression, bipolar, schizophrenia, ADD, ADHD, OCD, trichotillomania, where you pull your hair and your eyelashes out. You heal the gut, you begin to heal the brain. I watch it every single day in the office, every day. My patients that heal the gut, they begin to have decreased depression, decreased anxiety, decreased any of the psych issues at all. Anxiety and depression are the big ones. Anxiety for sure goes down drastically whenever you heal the gut. So many conditions can contribute to anxiety. Julia Ross and Trudy Scott are experts on pyroluria. So if you don't know what pyroluria is, we talk about it in the office a lot. And when I check your zinc levels and ceruloplasmin levels, pyroluria, the definition is low levels of zinc and B6 that are caused from a genetic condition that results from a dysfunction of the heme molecule. Heme is iron. It's part of the iron molecule. This results in elevated levels of cryptopyrroles. Well, we have 4 pyrroles on the heme molecule. We're not going to get into the pathophysiology behind it. But what happens is when this happens, when we have that genetic dysfunction, greater levels of zinc and B6 are excreted. So they're eliminated from the body via urine and therefore increase the symptoms of anxiety, depression, things like that, nervousness. Iron is also affected, and patients may experience low iron and ferritin as a result when you have cryptopyrroles or pyroluria, okay? So we'll need to replenish the B5 and the B6 and the zinc and the iron in those patients. So how do we traditionally treat anxiety? I was taught to treat anxiety with benzodiazepines. In my opinion, they should be outlawed. They are my opinion. This is my opinion. I'm not God over here, but this is my opinion. Benzodiazepines are the number one most evil prescription out there, and we're talking Klonopin, right? Valium, Xanax, Ambien's a benzodiazepine, right? We know that they are highly addictive. And if you're taking a benzodiazepine right now, if you take a Xanax every day, if you take a Klonopin every day and you say, oh, I'm not addicted to it, just try coming off of it. You can't stop it cold turkey because you could go into seizures. So you can't ever do that. You have to wean off slowly. And I can tell you right now, I've had 2 patients who, in 10 years, 11 years, who've had to go to Cumberland Heights and somewhere else and wean themselves off of Xanax. We couldn't do it. We got them down to 0.25 and could not go any further. It is a highly addictive pharmaceutical, and I believe that it should be outlawed, and none of us should be able to write it. I haven't written that. Well, I've never written. I mean, I just don't write that drug. Highly addictive. It is also, benzodiazepines have been shown to increase the risk of dementia and Alzheimer's disease. So if that's not enough to make you stop, then, or to get yourself help and to wean down, I don't know what is. Also, of course, Tums increases your risk of dementia and Alzheimer's, as does Benadryl. We know that. Ambien, Xanax, Klonopin, Valium, all those things, all the benzodiazepines. That's how I was taught to treat anxiety. That's it. That's all I was taught. Anxiety, right there. Use benzos. But we know that nutrient deficiencies can cause anxiety. Do you know if you're on birth control, those of you that are in childbearing years, or even if you're not in childbearing years and they've put you on birth control because you've got heavy bleeding or you're going through menopause, you have fibroids, things like that. Do you know that the birth control pill depletes B6, which is very important for neurotransmitters in your body, iron, selenium, magnesium, zinc from your body. Every single one of those are important for neurotransmitter health and decreasing anxiety and increasing energy and things like that. B6, one of my all-time favorite vitamins right here is B6. I use a combo in the office, B5 and B6. B6, so what we're going to talk about on amino acids and nutrients tonight, you can't take all of these. I don't know if you can see. I can't move that because I can't see one thing on the screen. You can't take all these supplements tonight because, I mean, that's ridiculous. So you have to pick and choose which seems to be best for you, right? Do you think you're deficient in B5, B6? B6, I use for cortisol management as well. High cortisol, low cortisol, as well as numbness and tingling in the hands and feet, right? People who have this restless legs, this numbness and tingling thing. B6, 500 to 100 milligrams, right, of what you need. We use a combo from Metagenics, which I think is great, and just one pill is 100 milligrams. So 50 to 100 milligrams, I said 500 to 100. 50 to 100 milligrams, and this has all kinds of things in it. This is my favorite one, Cortico B5, B6. We private label it. We actually have patients take 2 in the morning, 1 at lunch, but you really probably only have to take 1 and 1 to get your B5 or your B6 levels back up there. Zinc is huge. We are so deficient in zinc, it's not even funny. Again, if you're on birth control, B6, zinc, selenium, iron, these are all things that are wiped out on birth control. If you're on metformin as well, B12, wiped out. So you need to replenish those. Zinc is a big one for your thyroid. It's incredible for anxiety. So we combine that with B6 and zinc. Works beautifully if you have pyrroles. So if you have pyroluria. Zinc is also a big one for your immune system. So we use that during this whole COVID-19. 30 milligrams a day is really probably all you need, maybe 60. But always take it with a meal because zinc can tend to make you nauseated. I use a plain, cheap zinc picolinate in the office. It's $14 for 60 of them. It's very inexpensive. but it works beautifully. Zinc is one of the things that really helps build your immune system up, but also it can make you nauseated, so take it with food. Multi-minerals. Do you know how devoid we are of minerals in our bodies? There's no magnesium, there's no zinc, there's no selenium, there's none of the good stuff left in our food, right? Because we turn that soil over so fast. And so multi-minerals, something that you may consider if you're having a little anxiety or you just feel like you need a little boost. I use trace minerals because I think personally they're the best out there. There's multiple of all of these. These are just the things that we use in our office. But this has got so many minerals. It's got something like 26 minerals. I don't know. It's got a million different things. And you just put a little bit in your water and shoot it down. That'll help. Okay? D3. Vitamin D3 is a big deal. You can take any D3 you want. I'm a fan of using vitamin D3 with K27 in it. K2 and D3 work synergistically together. Remember, K27 is found mainly in organ meat and liver meat. And I cooked liver and onions tonight. Y'all are going to see it on Instagram in a minute. As soon as I finish this, I'll share it. But K27 is loaded with tons and tons of great, organ meat's loaded with lots of great minerals. A, D, E, K, zinc, selenium. D3 helps with those neurotransmitters in the gut to the brain. All right? Fish oil, an amazing thing you can use for anxiety, right? Fish oil helps decrease anxiety, decrease inflammation in your body. Get a good fish oil. Use at least 2 to 6 grams. Dr. Kelly Brogan, who's a psychiatrist who has not written an antidepressant in probably over 15 years. She wrote the book, A Mind of Your Own. Amazing resource, Kelly Brogan is. She is a huge fan of high-dose fish oil. High-dose fish oil for anxiety, for depression. But make sure you've got an excellent fish oil. There's 3 brands that I use. Nordic Naturals. This is Metagenics, even though it has our private label on it. And Carlson Labs. I think they have excellent fish oil. Designs for Health, I've added them in as well. They are an excellent fish oil as well. But I'm a big fan of 2 to 6 grams of fish oil. Plus, it helps with inflammation in your body. And when you cool the inflammation down, your anxiety gets better. So it helps me with joint pain and overall inflammation. Magnesium is huge for anxiety. But again, magnesium is one of those things. It's a smooth muscle relaxer. So patients who have restless legs at night, they have heart palpitations, they have high blood pressure, you can't poop, you're constipated, you have tight jaws, right? Like TMJ. Magnesium is one of the easiest things you can do. You can do multiple forms of magnesium. Calm is like magnesium citrate. We use magnesium glycinate chelate. I use multiple magnesium forms in the office, but basic magnesium, beautiful to help with anxiety. Plus, it does so many other things, like I said. And I use anywhere between 300 to 500 milligrams of magnesium. If you have high blood pressure, shoot, 1,500 milligrams, 2,000 milligrams of magnesium. I mean, you got to get one that's not going to upset your stomach and cause diarrhea, but I'm a big, big fan of magnesium. This is probably one of our best sellers in the office is our magnesium, as well as a great multivitamin. Inositol. Those of you who've known me for years since I practiced over at Cool Springs Family Medicine, I used to use rhodiola, and I still do, but I mean, my first thing I learned about anxiety, treating it naturally, I learned how to use inositol, rhodiola, and L-theanine. Yeah, that's right there. And it is a magic combo for anxiety. Inositol helps with your nervous system, so it helps calm you down, right? It also is great for carbohydrate and sugar cravings. Inositol is. Inositol, and you can use up to 18 grams a day is what's been studied, but you could have a little GI upset, a little bit of diarrhea. Inositol is what is in our Relax Max. Remember, this is probably our best seller in the entire office, this and GABA for anxiety. Relax Max is like a liquid Xanax in a water bottle. So this is a powder, and you just mix it up in your water, and you just drink it every day, right? And this is anxiety. This is inositol. magnesium, GABA, and L-theanine. I think it's those 4 things. Yes, and taurine, which is great. This works immediately, like within 5 minutes of taking it. It's one of those things you can use if you know you're getting ready to get into a touchy situation, and literally within 5 minutes of drinking it, you're just... I have a patient, I've told you all this story multiple times. She was a new patient. I saw her, she had like 4 kids and went homeschooled and all this stuff. She had some anxiety stuff. So I started on Relax Max, just a couple things, Relax Max, magnesium, whatever. I saw her for a follow-up appointment. I said, hey, how's that Relax Max working for you? She said, good Lord. She said, listen, I was drinking it, and she bought the pink one. We have 2, a clear one and one that's cherry flavored. And she said, I had it in my water, and I told the kids, don't drink this. This is Mama's special water. Well, she ran out of it like 4 or 5 days before her office appointment. She didn't want to come into the store to get it. She said my 7-year-old came up to her and said, Mama, are you not drinking your special water anymore? Because it was that obvious that she was a little on edge. But it really is great. I mean, it's a great product. That's a really good product right there. Yes, adolescents can take Relax Max. It's not going to hurt you at all. No, because it's just inositol, taurine, GABA, L-theanine, and magnesium. I mean, it's just basic amino acids, B vitamin, and magnesium there. Yeah, this is wonderful. And you know something? A lot of patients who have anxiety have got a B complex deficiency. They're low in Bs. They're low in B12. They're low in B6. They're low in B1, B2. They're low in all the Bs, 1 through 12. Maybe you just need a B complex, and that's it. Now make sure you've got somewhere close to 50 milligrams of B1, 2, 3, and 6 in it. And I like Zymogens because it's close on all of that. It exceeds some of that. But this is just a good B complex for people. Even if you don't have anxiety, but you need a little extra pep in your step, many people are low in their Bs. And Bs are water soluble. So it's not one of those things you have to be tested for Bs all the time to see if you've got too much B vitamins, because they're water soluble. You're just going to pee them out. And again, if you're on birth control, right, you really need a good B complex because you're depleting a lot of those Bs on birth control. Let's see here. Iron. So you know what? A lot of people who are deficient in, who have anxiety have really low ferritin, really low iron stores. Ferritin carries the oxygen in your blood. So it gives you energy. But if you're low in iron, your heart's going to have to work harder, right, to pump that oxygen. Oftentimes you have more anxiety. So, but now iron is something you can get too much of. So you want to have your healthcare provider check your ferritin level, check your hemoglobin level, iron level, see if you're anemic. If you are, take some iron. Many times I have patients tell me, Dani, all I needed was iron, and I felt better after the 2nd dose of iron. That's hard for me to believe because it takes about 90 days to really raise iron levels. Red blood cells have a 90-day lifespan. But maybe it's just as simple as a little bit of iron. So there you go. Multivitamin, of course. Oh, man, I forgot essential oils. I was going to bring all my essential oils out. Lavender, rose, clary sage, chamomile, bergamot, lemon, sandalwood. I mean, those are just a few, right? Holy basil, lemon balm. Lemon balm, one of my office favorites because you can use it when you're pregnant. You can also use it when you're nursing. You have to be a little bit careful because sometimes it can decrease your milk production. Lemon balm's been around for thousands of years. Thousands of years. It's an herb. I've got lemon balm growing out in the back in my herb garden, and dang it, I should have cut it tonight and showed you all lemon balm. It's phenomenal for anxiety. If you have insomnia, again, it's been used for thousands of years, and it's 1 gram for 2 capsules, and usually you take 2 capsules in the afternoon or just 2 capsules at bedtime, and really brings down, helps you sleep great. And it interacts with it, and it's also great if you have hyperthyroidism, Graves' disease. It'll help bring the TSH up a little bit in hyperthyroidism. It's also great if you have oral herpes or genital herpes. It works like an antiviral on that. Yeah, I'm a big fan of lemon balm. I don't personally take it, but it's fantastic for calming and taking the edge off. So one of my personal all-time favorites is CBD oil. And CBD oil, those of you all that know me, I've used CBD oil now the past 2 or 3 years in the office. I only use one brand, Earth's Glory. And I'm a huge fan of CBD. It's been used for 10,000 years. It works, I can tell you that. And it works by working on those endocannabinoid receptors and help bringing down that anxiety level. You shake it before you take it. It's scored. A good one will be scored, right, on the dropper there. You shake it. You put it under your tongue. You hold it for about 30 seconds. And it works very quickly. And you can also use it topically, right? You can put it over your heart. You can put on anything that hurts. I have my mom using CBD pain cream on her knees and her neck and her back and whatever hurts. But it is phenomenal for anxiety. It's great for insomnia. If you wake up in the night with a panic attack, dose some CBD. And we're giving away a free bottle of CBD oil, 500 milligram, right? So it's an $80 bottle. For every single one of you, we're going to draw your names that go to DaniWilliamson.com and sign up for our newsletter. But you got to sign up for the newsletter because I can see who signs up between today, the 14th, and Friday. And then we're going to choose one person and we'll mail it to you if you don't live local. But you got to sign up for the newsletter because we have a book coming out. So that's why we want to get you on the newsletter. But CBD oil works phenomenal for anxiety, irritability, heart palpitations, panic attacks, insomnia, joint pain, things like that. But we're talking more for anxiety stuff tonight. Headaches, put it literally topically where you hurt. You know, you can use it vaginally as well. It makes your orgasms 100 times stronger when you use it vaginally also. So I'm a huge fan of anything that works from head to toe, literally in any orifice that you need it in. CBD works absolutely fantastic, but you got to have a high quality one. It needs to be clean, full spectrum, all the things that I've got plenty of videos on that right there. Now, I hope you guys are taking notes because there's all, okay. Yes, Mary, I love CBD oil as well, and I love Earth's Glory. They're my favorite. Yes, and bergamot helps relax really well. Yes, it does. I am taking new patients. Yes, I am. We opened that up probably 6 months ago. But now we're going to get into the nuts and bolts of the amino acids. Also, oh, actually, I forgot. Probiotic, a really good probiotic. Megaspore, which is a spore-based probiotic, has got some clinical studies on anxiety and probiotics. And taking a good spore-based probiotic, decreasing anxiety in the body. They've got some studies. You can look them up at microbiomelabs.com. Actually, if you click on it off of our website, you can get into our site on it, and you've got all kinds of videos and stuff. But I'm a big fan of a probiotic overall. I believe, this is what I believe, people need at least 4 things in their life. They need the best probiotic money can afford, the best multivitamin money can afford, the best D3, and the best fish oil. Those 4 things right there will fix a world of hurt. Now, not everybody does great on just those 4 things, but those 4 things will hit so many systems in your body. Some people need extra magnesium, right? Some people need magnesium. Some people need other things. But those 4 basics for me are the cornerstones to good health. And that's what I take every day. And then I take, of course, other things as well. But let's talk about amino acids, right? Amino acids are the building blocks of proteins in our bodies. And we're going to talk about using targeted amino acids to help with anxiety. And I have a Sunday night service from 2 years ago, 2018, with Trudy Scott, who wrote my all-time favorite book on anxiety and food, The Anti-Anxiety Food Solution. And we have a Sunday night service on, you can look it on our YouTube channel, and you can scroll down and find it. It's me and Trudy on a split screen. She's brilliant. She lives in Australia. She only treats her clients with targeted amino acids. And what's that mean? It means using one amino acid to treat a specific system, okay? Working with neurotransmitter deficiencies and using amino acids to improve that. The beauty of using targeted amino acids is that it works very quickly most of the time. I can't tell you how many people I've had in the office literally having anxiety as they're on my couch, and we start digging deep right into what's going on with them. And they break down. They start crying. They have a panic attack or they have anxiety. They start crying. And I walk out of the room. I go get this bottle right here because this is the one I've used forever of GABA Calm. And I hand them a GABA, a targeted amino acid. GABA is Trudy Scott's #1 amino acid. Most people who struggle with anxiety need a little GABA. Not everyone, but most people do. GABA, some people call it GABA. I'm from Gilbertsville, Kentucky, so I say GABA. GABA is for the people who have the physical symptoms of anxiety. The clenched jaws, the tight shoulders, the scrunched up foreheads, the hands like this, just like gonna blow kind of people, tight people, just really, really anxious, shoulders up to their elbows. I mean, it works phenomenal for those people right there. We go up to 750 milligrams, but my patients generally do not need 750 milligrams. GABA Calm, which is the one that Trudy Scott likes, has got I think it has 125 milligrams of GABA in it. Yes, 125 milligrams of GABA, glycine, tyrosine, which you want. A really good GABA is going to have 25 milligrams of tyrosine with it. They work synergistically together. It's also got taurine and just 5 milligrams of magnesium, not a whole lot. This is my favorite. It's sublingual, under the tongue, and it just dissolves. And it's one of those things, kind of like CBD oil, that works very quickly, or Relax Max, because Relax Max, remember, has GABA in it and taurine as well. It works very fast, very, very fast. And you can use this in low doses, actually, with the benzodiazepine as you're weaning off of the benzo, the Xanax, the Valium, the Ambien, the Klonopin, things like that. This is my all-time favorite amino acid. I don't need it. I don't use it. I use another one I'll show you, and I don't actually use it for anxiety. I use it just for energy. But GABA Calm, this is my favorite. This is the one that Trudy Scott recommends, and it's the one we use in the office. We have other ones in there. Some people don't want a chewable. They want a capsule. I don't think they work as well, but they work good. People seem to think they work great, so there you go. That's all that matters. Tryptophan. So listen, tryptophan, for those of you that don't know, is a precursor to serotonin in your body, right? Oh, on your GABA, you're always going to take your amino acids between meals. So between breakfast and lunch, or between lunch and dinner, or between dinner and bedtime, okay? You take it between meals, all right? All right, tryptophan, take it between meals in the afternoon and before bedtime. Usually 500 to 1,000 milligrams a day. One of these tryptophans is 500 milligrams. People with low serotonin have symptoms of both anxiety and depression many times. They worry, they have obsessiveness, they have insomnia, negativity, self-doubt, guilt, anger, perfectionism. They also feel like oftentimes they have this imposter syndrome. And I've always felt like that. I think any of us, I have a friend of mine who texted me this week. She's I'm not going to, well, you would know if I said, but she's high up in her field. And she said, and she's learning functional medicine. And she said, Dani, I feel like I have imposter syndrome. And I said, I know, because it's just so much to learn. But tryptophan is the precursor to serotonin. Well, what are your serotonin, your antidepressants that are serotonin reuptake inhibitors, right? Tryptophan's what's in turkey. It's what chills you out at night. And you know, you've got 5-HTP, which is the precursor to tryptophan then to serotonin. Some people can do fine with 5-HTP. 5-HTP also decreases carbon sugar cravings. And so this converts to tryptophan. 5-HTP converts to tryptophan. Dr. Oz loves to use 5-HTP before meals because it curbs carb and sugar cravings. I tried it and it made me extremely sleepy. So I took 5-HTP several years ago at night when I was having a hard time sleeping, and it worked like a charm. I mean, like a charm. It did. And maybe, I guess I needed it. I don't take it anymore, but 5-HTP, 50 to 100 milligrams, works great. Precursor to serotonin. Trudy Scott only recommends Litkey brand, which is what we use. They've been around for 25 years. She says they're the best on the market, and I trust her. It's 500 milligrams of L-Tryptophan right there, and you take it twice a day. A lot of patients love it. These are the patients who have a tendency to have a little depressed personality as well. Not necessarily full-blown depression, but just a little depressed, okay? Tryptophan, GABA, 5-HTP. These are all amino acids that help your body work better and decrease anxiety and depression. And they help your neurotransmitters to fire better in your brain. D-phenylalanine. D-phenylalanine is pretty interesting. People who have pain, it works well for people who have pain. It inhibits the enzyme that breaks down endorphins. Okay, so what it does, so what that means is, as your endorphins rise in your body, inflammation goes down, depression goes down, anxiety goes down. So endorphins are what happen when you have sex, right? When you have an orgasm. Some people get endorphin release from running, that runner's high. I never got that. Breastfeeding a baby, endorphins, right? Come out. There's many ways to you get a hug from somebody, your endorphins go up, right? So what D-phenylalanine is, it inhibits enzymes that are in our body that block or break down endorphins. So it keeps your endorphins around longer. That was a long way of saying it keeps your endorphins around longer. But it also works great for people who have some pain. So D-phenylalanine. And again, if you have anxiety and you know nothing else is working, maybe it's something that would work for you. I don't know. Or you feel just a little like your endorphins are down. You just don't feel any joy. That's it right there. Endorphins give you joy. You know, maybe you need a little D-phenylalanine. Tyrosine. This is what I take. I take tyrosine a couple of times a day. I don't take it 3 times a day like it's diagnosed or like it's dosed, because I don't take anything 3 times a day. You take it between meals, and you definitely take it before 3 because it gives you some energy. It also helps with your thyroid, and that's why I take it. I don't have thyroid dysfunction, but it's not perfect. It's not perfect, but we use tyrosine to make thyroid hormones. So if you have insomnia, definitely don't take it before 3, or don't take it after 3. It's a precursor to catecholamines produced in the brain and the adrenal glands in response to stress. So the stress that I've had the last year, that's one of the reasons that I started L-tyrosine. It helps with epinephrine, norepinephrine, and dopamine. Stress depletes your catecholamines in your body. And so I knew that I was having a little bit of trouble dealing with stress and stuff. So I started some tyrosine just to see. I don't know. I think it works. It also is interesting. It decreases sugar, caffeine, and chocolate cravings, as well as other addictive behaviors. And I believe that because, in fact, you know, that's just kind of hitting me. I haven't craved sugar nearly as much the last month as I did. That's my main thing. And I'm drinking way less coffee than I ever have. So, you know, it could be the tyrosine. But anyway, there you go. Tyrosine. It's cheap. It's $21, you know, 90 capsules in there. So I don't take it 3 times a day. I just take it twice a day. L-Glutamine. We're almost finished with the amino acids. So lots of you know that we use a ton of L-Glutamine in the office. I use Zymogen because it lasts forever. Good Lord, there's 85 servings in here. There's a ton of L-Glutamine in here. L-Glutamine is great if you have low blood sugar that could be causing your anxiety. And a lot of people get up in the morning and they have anxiety literally within 10 or 15 minutes or sooner of waking up. Many times that's blood sugar dropping, right? in the night because we haven't had enough protein or what have you. And when blood sugar drops, cortisol has to rise in your body, as I taught 2 weeks ago on Sunday night service. And then we get these anxiety symptoms, heart palpitations, all the things. L-glutamine helps to decrease blood sugar drops. It also helps with carb and alcohol and sugar cravings. It sure does. It also is amazing for healing the gut lining from the mouth to the anus. We use it. It works great with like irritable bowel disease and things like that, Crohn's, ulcerative colitis. It really is good at healing the gut. It's amazing. And it's just a powder, and there's zero taste to L-glutamine. Now, if you're bipolar, you need to be, probably avoid it if you're bipolar. It's great. First thing in the morning when you wake up, you could just mix it and drink it down instead of just drinking a big old glass of water. Drink your L-glutamine. If you're having those kind of blood sugar drops in the morning and you're having that kind of anxiety, make sure you eat breakfast. I'm a big fan of intermittent fasting. I am. I think it's great, and I think it's one of the greatest things you can do to reset your body and to burn fat and to get your brain going and the ketones and all that going. I really am a fan of intermittent fasting, going at least 12 hours without any food, and preferably up to 16. Most countries fast. Americans, we don't fast as much. But if you're one of those people who has anxiety in the mornings, then I wouldn't be doing that. I would make sure I was eating my breakfast as soon as I got up. Trudy Scott says that most people stay on their amino acids. Whoops, that's not amino acid. Here we go. Well, wherever. Oh, here. All these amino acids. Most people stay on these amino acids anywhere from a month to 12 months. This is not forever, people. None of this is forever. I mean, I'm a big believer, like I said, in a probiotic, a D3, a multivitamin, a fish oil. I'll take those forever. But that stuff's not forever. You don't need CBD oil forever. I can't think of anything really that you need forever other than a few things. One month to 12 months. Most people then can come off of them. But she also says, again, you can't take enough tryptophan or D-phenylalanine or whatever to out-supplement a bad diet. You can't do it. She says you have to eat a real one-ingredient diet, a real anti-inflammatory diet, right? You have to address the gut. You have to heal the gut. Maybe you need some L-glutamine for that. Maybe you just remove the inflammatory foods, whatever it is that you need. Maybe you need to heal some or fix some bacterial infections in the gut, whatever. You definitely need to eliminate gluten. Gluten is one of the worst inflammatory agents for anxiety, okay? Actually, gluten and dairy are big ones for anxiety. You need to correct your low iron and your ferritin, right? So have your healthcare provider check your iron and your ferritin levels, check your zinc levels, check your MTHFR status. I have a heterozygous 677T mutation for MTHFR. If you do not know what MTHFR is, watch our Sunday night service on MTHFR. It's a methylation a problem in your body to where you don't methylate, you don't detox as easy as other people. So you don't utilize the methylated forms. You don't make the proper forms of B vitamins and methylfolate and B12. You can't use just basic B vitamins. You need methylated vitamins. So that we could talk about that for hours, which I have. You have to exercise. You have to get outside, right? In the morning. A good morning sets you up for a good evening. You have to be outside. We know the studies that are out there. People who work outside, people who work near natural light, people who have natural light in their offices, they sleep so much better at night and they have less anxiety. And maybe you need a support group, right? Maybe you need to find some community. So what are we going to do? If you need certain vitamins or certain minerals, then have your labs checked and get started on those. Yeah, I mean, I don't check for neurotransmitters anymore. I used to do all that. I don't do it anymore. I've learned that you really go off of patient symptoms. I don't test for those. But what are we going to do lifestyle-wise? There's no one-size-fits-all solution for everyone. That's why there's a million different things to try. The average bear only needs a couple things. You don't need all that. Some people need GABA. Some people need tryptophan. So it's important to have a provider who understands that. You definitely have to balance your blood sugar. Blood sugar doing this all day long is going to increase anxiety all day long. Panic attacks, anxiety, depression, all kinds of things with blood sugar issues. So you've got to eat enough protein throughout the day to keep your blood sugar stable. Make sure your thyroid is optimal. Patients with Hashimoto's thyroiditis and Graves' disease, they have a high rate of anxiety. I see that every day. Eat a real food diet, right? Eating real, whole, good quality food is the foundation for any holistic approach to anxiety, says Trudy Scott and Dani Williamson. Plenty of studies show that those who eat a diet high in sugar, processed foods, have a higher rate of anxiety and depression. The same for showing those that eat a Mediterranean diet, which is my all-time favorite lifestyle, a Mediterranean diet, they are less prone to depressive disorders and anxiety. Gluten, dairy, sugar, at the very least, need to be cut out. And then, like I said, a Mediterranean lifestyle is my all-time favorite lifestyle. It's the diet that the bulk of the world eats. Avoid all white foods. The sugar, gluten, and dairy are the white devils, for darn sure. Try to find out your food sensitivities. That's a big one, right? Wheat and dairy have been shown to upset the nervous system, creating anxiety and depression. And again, I've talked ad nauseum about wheat and dairy upsetting the nervous system. Kelly Brogan says cut out coffee 100% for 1 week. And then add in some collagen, 1 tablespoon of collagen that has some glycine in it. That amino acid helps with anxiety and insomnia. She also says exercise, okay? Decrease the alcohol. Get this. Alcohol has been shown to increase anxiety. It also increases insomnia. You do not sleep well when you drink a bunch of wine at night, guaranteed. Alcohol can also be a major contributor to depleting nutrients that are associated with preventing anxiety. Listen to this. Zinc, vitamin C, magnesium, fatty acids, antioxidants, and B vitamins like B6, B1, and folic acid have all been shown to be decreased by drinking alcohol. Not only does alcohol decrease nutrients, it also affects the metabolism of tryptophan, leading to lower levels of serotonin in your body. And serotonin is your feel-good hormone that increases all of your great activity, right? Helps you feel good. Meditation has been shown to decrease anxiety levels. Meditation. Just straight up meditation. Yoga also decreases anxiety levels and depression. There's a reason yoga has been around for over 2,000 years. It works. Also, deep breathing. Just very simple. In for 3, hold for 3, out for 3. And do that like 7 times. And this is how you do it. In for 3. Hold for 3, out for 3. 7 times. It's unbelievable how your heart rate comes down and your anxiety levels come down. Get outside. Sunshine and grounding have been shown to help anxiety and raise serotonin levels. Light therapy with a full spectrum lamp, at least 3,000 to 10,000 lux, during the winter helps decrease seasonal affective disorder, okay? Take a real vacation every year. Get this. The U.S. takes 13 days average vacation, well below the 21 days per year in Canada, Britain, and Germany, and South Africa. Staying home is okay if you want to take a staycation, but painting the ceiling, cleaning the gutters, doing all that, cleaning out, that's not a vacation, all right? You need to take your vacation time. Take all your vacation time, people. I mean, it's huge. Therapy, of course, EMDR, cognitive behavioral therapy. I mean, I'm a huge fan of a great therapist. And if your therapist isn't working for you, find a new therapist. It's just like your nurse practitioner. Find a new nurse practitioner or a doctor if we're not working for you. Decrease the stress in your life, right? Laugh. Laughter therapy is amazing. Cultivate community. You guys see my Friday or Saturday cookouts I have here at the office. Here at my house in my neighborhood. Community is where it's at. Community is where you heal. Okay? It's not rocket science. You can't take enough of these to fix a bad diet. So you have to start with your diet, right? Turn the TV off. That's something I didn't write on there, but turn the TV off. Don't watch the news. Maybe watch a little bit in the evening when you get home or something, or whatever. Scroll through 15, 30 minutes and then be done with it. Don't be fixated on the news. I know I'm guilty of that. I'm a news junkie. I love all news. I watch it all. But I have started cutting out more and more news because I can't take it. You have to be up on current events, but it's a big one. Okay. Some references for you, resources. The Anti-Anxiety Food Solution. Okay, www.antianxietyfoodsolution.com. That's Trudy Scott. Amazing information. KellyBroganMD.com. KellyBroganMD.com. If you are addicted to benzodiazepines, Xanax, Valium, etc., here's a great reference. www.benzo.org.uk. So it's out of the United Kingdom. Here's what I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen. You guys are not broken. You're not broken. You weren't born broken. You're not broken now. You weren't born with anxiety. You weren't born with depression. You weren't born with OCD, with PTSD. You weren't born with schizophrenia, bipolar. You know, these are things that are triggered or turned on. So if we're going to talk anxiety tonight and depression, we turn those on many times through decades of dysfunction and the things we've talked about. I am living proof. What you turn on, we can turn off, or at the very least dial down greatly. And you need somebody to help you do that, maybe, sometimes. Find a provider wherever you live who will listen to you and will help you do that. But you can start very easily by healing the gut, cutting out gluten, dairy, sugar for sure. We know the top 7: gluten, dairy, soy, corn, sugar, eggs, and peanuts. Those are the top 7 inflammatory foods. Many times when you heal the gut, all these other things start to just decrease and decrease. But ladies and gentlemen, God did not design junk. He did not design broken people. He did not make broken people. And don't ever let anybody tell you you are, because you're not. You are perfect exactly the way you are. But sometimes you need to help yourself, right? Our body is designed to heal itself, but you got to give it what it needs. And that's why we offer so much free information out there for you all. If you're not on our YouTube channel, guys, you are missing out, because I literally have 60, 75 hours of free videos on there from everything. So you got, and they're uploaded from here to YouTube every Monday morning. So just know that you're not broken. We can help you. If you need help, we can help you, or find somebody who can. All right? Eat well, sleep well, move well, poop well, decrease stress, cultivate community. Those are all things that help your body begin to heal. All right? Appreciate you guys. Thank you, Steve. Thank you. Yeah, EMDR was a big game changer for me too, as well. Samantha, it sure was. Yes, Victoria, you can take it. I would take my 5-HTP at lunch and at dinner, most likely, is how I would do it. But ask your doctor about that, okay? Yeah, I love 5-HTP. All right, guys, listen. Earth's Glory CBD, I just want you to know this. They dropped their prices drastically 2 weeks ago. Literally $29, like dropped down. This bottle was $89. It's now $60 for a 500 milligram. So I love that about them. I love their integrity. But here's the thing. We're going to give away a free bottle of Earth's Glory Friday, but you got to go to DaniWilliamson.com. Sign up for our newsletter. You'll be the first to know when all the things are happening at the office. And I'm going to choose 100 people as well to pre-read the book and to pre-read it and to give reviews and all that mess on Amazon. So I need your emails. And if you know me, I send out 1 email a week. I don't send out more than 1 email, very rarely. So newsletter. So please go over there tonight or tomorrow night or whenever and sign up for our newsletter. And Friday, I'm going to choose whoever wins the free bottle of CBD. Yes, we're taking new patients. We've been taking new patients for 6 months. If you need supplements, you can order those on our online supplement store. I mean, this is not a supplement sale tonight. This is just trying to help you guys. All right, my friends, I appreciate you. And Mama, I'm glad that you were on watching tonight. How fun was that? Thank you, Emily, for getting her on there tonight. I appreciate that. So, all right, guys, I love you. Appreciate you. Tomorrow's Monday. It's going to be a good week. We're going to have a good week. Okay? Get outside tomorrow morning, get your feet on the earth, get your face to the sun, and just thank God for everything that we've got. You know, anxiety, the times that I have ever felt overwhelmed, like I said, I've never had anxiety, but I've overwhelmed. I just forget all the amazing things in my life. It's just like looking at food sensitivity results, right? You look at all the red that you can't eat over here, and you never look at the green of all the amazing fruits and vegetables that you can eat. We always look at the bad. So, flip it all around. Flip it all around. It's a thinking problem many times. Many times. Now, not always. Sometimes it's truly a chemical imbalance, right? But many times it's just a thinking problem. Let's rethink it. Let's give grace and be grateful for what we do have, and work on the things that we don't have and we want to make better. So, all right, guys, I love you. I appreciate you. I'm sorry I ran 6 minutes over tonight. So thanks for hanging in there with me. Go to our website, DaniWilliamson.com. Sign up for the newsletter. All right, it's important. It's really important because we have some big things that we're going to share with you all. All right, love you. Appreciate you. And hang in there, guys. Hang in there. We're all in this together. Next Sunday night, Tika and I will be discussing cultural literacy and cultural illiteracy. And I'm going to tell you something. I'm nervous about it. I already cried about it today because it's a very hot topic, as in, well, it's very hot, but I mean, it's like emotional and it's charged. And I need prayers all week long from every single one of you. Put us on the prayer list that we speak the words that God wants us to speak next week. We're coming together as a black woman and a white woman, and we're actually the same. We're within a few years of each other. So we were raised in separate worlds, but at the same time. And if you all don't know Tika, ma'am, you're getting ready to be in for something. She is the real deal. And I love her just like she's one of my, just like we're sisters. We are sisters. And we are sisters. We're sisters in Christ. But anyway, that's next Sunday night. Guys, we need your prayers because we're putting that presentation together. We've been working on it for a long time. It's not something we wanted to do hairy-carry. We knew we were praying over the words on what we're going to say next week and our take on it as a white woman and a black woman. And it's going to be heavy. It's going to be funny, but it's going to be real. And, don't, kind words only. Kind words only. All right, we love you.